In today's episode of Spaceflight News, we will present the initial findings of the inquiry into the malfunction of the Russian Luna-25 spacecraft. Then, we will explore Starbase, a place that could be mistaken for a scene from a science fiction movie. To conclude today's episode, we will take a look at a shot from the James Webb Telescope, which captured a remarkable image of a newly born star. In August of this year, Russia launched the Luna-25 spacecraft to the Moon, marking the first Russian mission to this celestial body since the Soviet Union era. The spacecraft was intended to land in the relative vicinity of the Moon's south pole and conduct scientific measurements for a period of 1 year. Luna-25 initially performed well. However, during the final critical maneuver, a problem arose that ultimately proved fatal. The spacecraft was performing a braking burn in order to lower its orbit in preparation for the consequent landing. But the maneuver, which was meant to take 84 seconds, was extended to 127 seconds due to an error, resulting in the spacecraft being slowed more than intended and its orbit dropping too low. Subsequently, a few dozens of minutes later, Luna-25 crashed into the surface of the Moon, leaving a newly formed crater visible in these two images taken by NASA Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. In response, a special committee was established to investigate the cause of the failure. Preliminary results of the investigation and the likely cause of the failure have recently been published. The report indicates that the spacecraft's control computer and a sequence of tasks performed by it were likely responsible for the error due to the set priority level of these tasks. The spacecraft had not had its accelerometer running during the maneuver, which would have informed the computer that the planned change in velocity had been achieved. Roscosmos has since announced that it is taking measures to prevent a recurrence of the accident and has postponed the launch of 2 further expeditions to the Moon. Luna-26 was intended to orbit the Moon, while Luna-27's mission should land on its surface. Despite not yet having obtained authorization for a second Starship orbital launch, activity at SpaceX's Starbase in South Texas remains undiminished. Recently, the futuristic-looking Cybertruck used to transport the Raptor rocket engine gained considerable attention. Notably, the engine featured a large nozzle, a necessity for efficient operation of Starship in a vacuum. For rocket engines to operate as efficiently as possible, the exhaust gases leaving the nozzle need to be as close to density of ambient medium as possible. And because these engines are intended to operate in a vacuum, their exhaust gases can expand much more than in the atmosphere. That is why a larger nozzle is essential. In addition, on October 5th, Starship 25 was removed from Super Heavy B9 with the aid of the chopsticks, a component of the Mechazilla system. Moreover, SpaceX is also working on preparations of another prototypes. Starship 26 is already in place at Suborbital Test Site B, and the final assembly of Starship 31 is also underway, indicating that SpaceX is already making preparations for further missions. This is an object named Herbig-Haro 211, or HH211 in short, situated approximately 1,000 light-years from Earth in the constellation of Perseus. It is a remarkable object captured by the James Webb Space Telescope, a joint project of the United States, Europe, and Canada. The image is dominated by supersonic jets. Objects known as Herbig-Haro surround young stars. When a young star commences its fusion reactions and generates stellar wind, shock waves are created in the surrounding dust and gas, which gradually spread away. At the center of HH211 is a star only a few tens of thousands of years old. In the future, it will be an object similar to our Sun, but at the time the image was taken, it had only 8% of the mass of it. Since the Webb telescope observes the universe in the infrared part of the electromagnetic spectrum, it is ideal for such studies. That's because infrared radiation penetrates the dust and gas in the cloud from which young stars form. This gives the Webb telescope a perfect opportunity to map the structure of the jets clearly. The Webb's infrared capabilities, combined with its highly sensitive instruments, enabled it to image HH211 with 5 to 10 times higher spatial resolution than previous observatories. The image is so detailed that, upon analysis of the jets, scientists postulated that the young star may in fact be a binary. Thank you for your attention to today's episode of Spaceflight News. The upcoming episode, comprising 3 interesting topics, will be published on Thursday, October 12th. To ensure you don't miss it, kindly consider subscribing. Additionally, we invite you to visit our profile on social network X, formerly known as Twitter. The link can be found in the video description.